Ah, Nintendo. What are we gonna do with them? We all know what they really want, but do they know what we really want? We asked for Waluigi in Smash Bros, and we get... We asked for a decent Zelda 35th Anniversary Collection, and we got... We asked for a Groose Amiibo, or at least I did, and we get this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this amiibo's actually pretty cool, but it's not what I asked for! But rather than sit around and cry about the decisions of a multi-billion-dollar company, I decided to take matters into my own two hands. Disclaimer, I am not an expert and this is not a tutorial. Thank you very much. Alright, first things first. Before we even begin to bring this brash, blubbering anti-hero into the real world, we need decent reference photos. After trying and failing to find a decent 3D model online, I decided to use his model for his assist trophy in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I took some screenshots from various angles, took them into Photoshop, deleted the parts I didn't want, and BAM! 4 little Grooses standing in a row. And now we're on to sculpting. Let's go. Here we are in the Sculpting Zone. First, I'm going to create my armature. Now, this is basically just a bit of aluminum wire that will act as the support system upon which we can build our strapping young red-haired lad. I managed to finagle the fickle yet flexible wire into the general shape and height of my model, and now I begin slowly adding clay around the wire, starting with the legs and moving up to the midsection. Once I've achieved a shape that is decidedly Groose-like in stature, I will go ahead and bake this model to ensure that I don't screw anything up once I start adding the clothing. You'll notice his body isn't very smooth at the moment. He looks like he's been out in the sun for a few days. Don't worry about that, we'll cover it up, because that's what clothes are for. After rolling out pieces of clay and gently wrapping them around the body, 1 for each of his legs, 2 for his tunic, and several pieces for the cape collar thing he's wearing, it's at this point I realize his legs are far too short and thick, like little tree stumps. But we're just gonna go with it. We'll call it Prepubescent Groose who's wearing his dad's clothes. Does Groose have a dad? Now we begin working on his face. This is the most pivotal part of the project. It is crucial that we sculpt every single detail with the utmost care and precision to ensure that we capture the essence of Groose beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I kind of fucked it up. But that's okay. At least the nose is big enough to do this. I will now lovingly add the ever-important pompadour for which Groose is so widely known. Now we bake the whole shebang until satisfyingly solid. Of course, no amiibo is complete without its base. I was lucky enough to find a 3D model for an amiibo base on a website called Thingiverse. Link is in the description if you want to check it out. I then printed the base using my 3D printer. Fortunately, it prints in 2 separate pieces because I've got a little surprise for you. We're gonna make this thing functional. Amiibo technology is fairly simple. Embedded within each amiibo is an NFC tag, which stands for Near Field Communication. I purchased my own NFC tags, and I can now transfer the code for any amiibo of my choice into one of these tags. Don't tell anybody. I ended up going with the Ganondorf amiibo because, I don't know, he seemed like the closest choice. There is also a theory that Groose was the original ancestor of the entire Gerudo tribe. Whether that's true or not, this seems like a good way to acknowledge that possibility. Now, I decided to skip most of the painting process because it's long and boring and, in other words, I lost all the footage for the painting process. Whoops. But I started with a base coat of white paint on both the amiibo base and the Groose. I know it seems a little redundant to paint an already white figure white, but it's important, I swear. After that, I gave the base a nice coat of metallic gold paint, and using acrylic paint gave our Groose all the color he truly deserves. I will now say goodnight while he fully dries. It is now bright and early, and there is one last step before we're ready for assembly. I'm using this polycrylic protective finish. This is the clear matte variety, and I'm just going to give our figure and the base a quick coat of this stuff. And this will just seal in the paint and make sure that my inevitably grubby digits do not disfigure or destroy the diligent and delicate paint job. And now, the moment of truth. I carefully extract Groose from his wooden prison, and I cut off the wire attached to his feet, but leaving about ½ an inch of wire sticking out. My plan is to drill 2 holes into the base and stick the wire through them to ensure a secure connection. Now, if you're as brilliant as I, you will first drill into the wrong piece before contemplating how you've gotten this far in life. Now that we've drilled into the proper piece, it's time to insert our Groose. Now, I tried using hot glue, but it didn't work so well, so I went and found some of the good stuff. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Now I apply a liberal amount of superglue to the NFC tag and secure it to the inside of the outside piece of the base. I apply more superglue to the bottom of the Groose piece, and after trying and failing to press the two together with my bare hands and coating my fingers with superglue in the process, I went off camera and pressed the two pieces together using a swivel vise. And now, it's time for some glamour shots. I guess there's only one thing left to do. Perfect. Well guys, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this project, give this video a like, why don't ya? And while you're at it, let me know in the comments if there's any other character you want me to amiibo-fy. Anything you'd like to say, Groose? Alright, well I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.